Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lover Society with me, Gert Retief. And yeah, I'm celebrating St. Patrick's Day a little bit early. Tomorrow, 17 March. Of course, it's all green day. Now, the closest that I have to green was this blue t-shirt, still traveling on my way home. So I thought it is a good idea to do a little bit of a Redbreast 12 cask strength, bottled at a nice 55.8% ABV, natural color. Well, I'm not sure about that. I didn't see any information, so not presuming anything, but of course that strength, non-chill filtered. So quite looking forward to celebrating, although a day early, but yeah, I will be traveling tonight again to my next flight, and it's going to be a long bloody day ahead for me. So yeah, Redbreast 12 cask strength, color wise. Well, I'm not sure about the color, maybe somebody knows. All my subscribers also understand I do not do a lot of research. It's all about the nosing and tasting. I really don't care about the history of anything. Well, sometimes I do, but mostly I just care about, do I like it or not, and not how old the company is that produce it. Sometimes age doesn't matter. I found some young distilleries that can outperform a lot of the old 1720, 1820 distilleries. So it doesn't mean they are old, they know what they are doing. Well, I'm not going to mention names. So this one is a maturation of ex-bourbon and of course sherry cask, ticking definitely the boxes for me. I do like a good sherry cask whiskey. This one was from the batch 2 of 19, if I remember correctly. Let's see what we can find on a single pot still cask strength Irish whiskey. It just rolls off the tongue. And I can tell you it is really nice on the nose. Now, sometimes if you go from nose to taste, it's not always apparent that it is the same thing. Sometimes you have this fantastic nose and you get to the taste and it's just not a good one for me. So to be honest, I am skeptical nowadays that I might pick up something nice on the nose and then when it gets to the taste, it's not so good. So that's sweet, but it's not really overly sweet. It didn't really remind me of a sherry cask. I could get the elements of it, but it is not like a overly sweet sherry whiskey. So that dried fruit components are definitely there. The alcohol 55.8. Now, if you agitate it a little bit and you stick your nose in, especially just after you poured it, it is very sharp. The alcohol component feels like it's a little bit on the youthful side. That ethanol note when it comes out, even at the 12 years old, it does feel a little bit young for me. But once it's settled down and you give it a little bit of time just to relax, then that kick in the nose goes away. That youthful note goes away. Now I agree. You have a high ABV whiskey, so if you do give it a little bit of agitation, it's going to release more of that alcohol molecules, and it feels like that sharpness makes me think that it is a no age statement whiskey. I'm not sure if it makes sense to you, and I think this one definitely needs a little bit of water. But also, after pouring it, I left it for maybe 15 minutes. It becomes a little bit more sweeter. You also get more of the aromas. You get the vanillas, you get the butterscotch. I get a little bit of an apple note, apple cider note. I get a little bit of creme brulee note, well, more on the vanillas, quite a lot of vanilla on it. So quite pleasant on the nose and getting smoother and smoother every time that I go back. But of course we need to taste it as well. So cheers. Now it is high ABV, so take a very small sip just to get your taste buds ready for a little bit more. It's sweet, there's a hotness in it, there's a spiciness in it, there's a little oakiness in it. So that 12 years did extract for me quite a lot of the oak tannins, but on that first sip it was not really a bitter note. But you can definitely get the oak out of that, even that very small sip. Let me just try again. Cheers. Definitely on the second sip, I can feel the little oaky build up. It is more taste of oak and a little bit of a bitter note come in. And I suspect every time that I go back, I'm going to get a little bit more bitter notes. But I think it's quite nice balance between the sweet. That sherry note is definitely coming through. The heat of the alcohol is still coming through. And it's like a little roller coaster. You go up and you get the peak of that alcohol and it's slowly going down. And that little burning note is disappearing slowly, quite pleasant actually. Now for this one, I think I need to add a little bit of water. There is a little bit of a youthful element for me anyway on the taste, and sometimes if you add a little bit of water to it, it brings or rounds off that rough notes that you sometimes pick up. Now normally at this percentage I will bring it down maybe with a teaspoon of water. This is 50, let me just make sure, this is a sample that I have for 50 milliliters, so quite a decent one. I am going to have maybe 2 teaspoons of water, and I'm going to give it a go. So 2 teaspoons of water. It is not cold water, so no Scottish mist forming at this stage. I think that the water was a little bit colder, it might make a difference. Now immediately with the water added, it feels that little punchiness, that youthful note seems to be disappearing. More vanilla's coming out. A little bit sweeter, and the sweetness is a little bit rounded off. It's not that punchiness, that rugged edges in it. There's a little peachy note coming through, like dried peaches. So quite pleasant on the taste. I think this is perfect with a little bit of water. It took the water well. That punchiness, that hotness, that sharp edges of the high ABV calmed down. I can take bigger sips. On that bigger sip that I just took, that punchiness is still there, but maybe 50%. Still quite a lot of hotness. I think you can add at least another teaspoon of water to this one and it will still be okay. And but for me it's a nice one. That bitter oakiness is disappearing completely now. I still get the oak, but I'm not getting the bitter notes. So this one is definitely a drinkable one, a nice whiskey to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and I hope you all have a wonderful day tomorrow. Put the greens on, get something Irish, even if it's an Irish coffee, and please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I see you next time. Cheers.